everybody. This is Jim from the Pain PT. How are you today? I'm here with Gayle, and she's going to share her story today, a recovery story, which is always great to hear. So, Gayle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Great to have you here. And I just want you to maybe share your story, and you can start in the beginning, just kind of how your history came out and where you came from, and give a little background for everybody.
Sure. I started having back pain about 2.5 years ago, low back pain, and it seemed to come out of the blue. I really don't know where it came from. I didn't have an accident. I didn't have any incident that I thought could have caused it, and I tried really thinking about what might have caused it. But so anyway, I did have back pain, and I thought it would go away after a month or two, but it really wasn't going away. It was continuing, getting worse. And as it was getting worse, I started to get more anxious and more fearful about that something was really seriously wrong. So, it put me into not a very good frame of mind.
Yeah, and you had this back pain. How long ago was that then when it started?
About 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. And then what kind of treatments did you do for it after you initially got the back pain?
Yeah, well, I thought, I would try massage therapy and physiotherapy and acupuncture. I tried those things, and they did help somewhat. They did. They gave me a little bit of relief, but somehow it wasn't going away totally. So I was still not feeling really good about it. And I thought, oh, what else can I do? I was really getting frustrated.
Yeah, and so you did these things, and you still weren't getting the relief you're looking for at the end of the day. And how did you first come across Dr. Sarno and his TMS work?
I think I just went to the library. I was looking through books on back pain, and I happened to see his book called Healing Back Pain. So I took it out. It's a small book, easy to read, but when I read it, I was really amazed at the philosophy that he was putting out there. And it seemed so different to what I'd been reading that I thought, okay, maybe this is something I can look at. And I seemed to fit a lot of the profile that he was talking about with people that have back pain. So yeah, I was open to it. I was really open to looking at that kind of treatment, mind-body treatment.
That resonated with you. You read the book.
Yeah.
So what did you start to do? So you read the book and you said, okay, this kind of fits me. And then what did you start to do in terms of some of the TMS treatment, other than, like, say, reading the book? Did you read the book multiple times, or what else did you start to do?
Yeah, well, when I started reading the book and reading it more times, then it led me to other authors, other doctors that had written books about TMS, and that was really helpful. And I started reading some stories of people that have healed themselves from TMS by using this. So that really gave me a lot of hope and a lot of confidence that it could work for me. So
yeah.
Great.
And then, so what were some of the techniques or the process that, I know we worked together for a while, but as far as some other stuff, what did you do in terms of, like, the actual, like, program for you? How did you approach it, and what do you think? Number one, number two, what do you think kind of helped you the most with getting better?
I think a few things. Trying to get rid of fear was a big one. Not being so fearful of moving, particularly. I know he talked about movement is important, so I started moving slowly and increasing my movement, increasing walking, increasing, doing other activities such as yoga and so on. And that really helped a lot. And the more I moved, the more confident I felt that, oh, I'm okay. There's really nothing wrong with me. I can move. And, sometimes I would feel some pain or discomfort, but I just kept at it and didn't let it bother me too much. I just kept going with it. So movement was one big piece at the beginning that really helped, and I still continue it now. So that was big. Another one was journaling or expressive writing, I guess they call it. just getting out some of my frustrations, some of my anger, tension. That helped a lot, and I continue to do that as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was helpful for me.
Yeah. And then what about like with the mind, the sort of the mindset shifting your brain, like about some of the, where we talked a little bit off air about this, about some of the worry or the concern that the brain can have over the symptoms, sort of trying to calm that response. Maybe talk a little bit about that and how you kind of approach that daily.
Yeah, being fearful and being in a panic mode is really not good. It got me very tense, and the more tension I had, the more pain I had. So I had to really find ways to calm my body down. And for me, doing some meditation, some breathing, that kind of thing really helped. And mostly just changing my mind about what I was feeling. Like, I'm okay. Don't stress about it. It's going to be okay. And really talking to myself about that. That really helped a lot. And knowing that it was going to, if I did have some pain, it was going to go away, and just kind of let it be, carry on with what I was doing, being distracted by other things that I enjoyed doing. That really helped too.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll talk about that piece a little bit later. But yeah, you're exactly right. So changing that mindset. So that's a huge piece for so many people. And because typically when we were talking and having some sessions, it was about how we viewed those symptoms. And some parts of our day, like for you, I think it was in the morning time, right? Getting out of bed is very common for people. That's when you were at sometimes the worst, right? And your mind would kind of just go, oh no, here we go again, type of thing, right? So maybe
Yeah.
talk about that in terms of how you approach that morning time, because that was one of the last pieces of your puzzle in terms of how you reframed it in your brain.
Yeah, well, it's kind of those ingrained patterns, I think, that I built up, that I was almost expecting to have pain in the mornings. So I just had to really, before I even got up, really think about, okay, I'm okay, and I'm just going to get up and carry on with my day, um, and just not really worry about it or think about it too much. So when I started doing that, I was amazed. I'd get up and I didn't really have any pain, or very little, and I just carried on with my day. So it really was just changing my attitude, I think, a lot.
Yeah, yeah, which is massive because you had it sort of, we all have that negative association with pain typically, naturally, negative thoughts, right? Which you had in the morning time. And then you had to, as you started to reframe those and move it to positive, hey, I'm all right, with self-talk, like you said, that seemed to have a positive effect. And that's true. We talked about this neuropathway change. You're creating a different neuropathway response to these benign symptoms. And sure enough, they went away or they reduced in the morning.
Yeah, like the less you go down that road of pain and focusing on the pain, the less you really feel it, because you're not focusing on it anymore. You're making other pathways, and that really made sense to me, and that's really what's been happening for me.
Awesome. And then you talked a bit about, like say getting out there and doing some hobbies, activities that you enjoyed. Yeah, talk about that, because that's what some people get stuck in their own little world and they feel like they give up a lot of things, and how important that was for you and part of your recovery.
Yeah, at the beginning, when I was having a lot of back pain and really getting into a fear, anxiety mode, I was getting fearful to go out with my friends. Oh, what if I have back pain? What if I can't handle it? So I got into that mode. So I had to really challenge that and go, okay, maybe I will try going out for a couple of hours and seeing friends, maybe going for a walk. So I slowly started getting out there, and wow, the more I went out and enjoyed doing things I like to do, the less pain I felt. So that was important. And then I started getting into doing other activities that I really enjoyed that were more physical, dancing and things like that. So I was pretty impressed that how far I came.
Yeah, and at the bottom, when you're at the bottom or at the depth of your pain, you weren't doing any of these activities, right? You kind of stopped everything.
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to go anywhere, and my friends were all, "Oh, come on, get out there." And the other thing was, I stopped really talking about my pain a lot, because people get tired. Well, my friends, I'm sure, and my family got tired of hearing me talk about it all the time. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. unless I need to talk to a medical professional or something like that. But the rest of the time, I'm just not going to talk about it. And if someone asks me, how's your back or how's this, I'm just going to say, yeah, I'm doing fine, or I'm doing better, or, just reframing that again.
I think that's key. That's a good point. That's a really good point, because people think, expressive or being expressive means they should talk more about their pain, but in a sense, you're reaffirming the pain when you talk about it, right? Or you're amplifying that response in the brain. So that's a piece for a lot of people. And I know Dr. Hanscom talks about that in his book and podcast. Like, hey, one of his rules is nobody talks about the pain. Don't talk about the pain, right? Because you're just reaffirming it.
You are.
And it's just like verbally letting it out, but then it never goes away that way.
Nope. So if I need to get it out, I'll get it out in writing and, whatever, and that kind of thing, and then get rid of the writing. But that's the way for me that works, if I need to express my pain in some way.
Yeah. And so just for the listeners here, the viewers, like, how long was this process then, from the time you found Sarno and then to where you felt like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good now, I'm sort of recovered? How long did that process take you?
Oh, it's taken quite a while, and I've had to let go of the fact that some people I know feel a lot of relief really quickly. I wasn't one of those people. It was a very gradual process for me. I think someone mentioned it's like the pain is sort of like a light bulb. I read that, and mine was like that. And then as you start to learn how to handle things in your brain, it starts to dim, and pretty soon it gets really dim, and you hardly even notice it. So it's been a slow process for me, certainly more than a year. But I've had really great moments. I've had some setbacks, a few setbacks, but they haven't lasted too long. So yeah, it's taken a while. It's a journey for sure, and it just you have to be patient, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's great advice. You got to stay with it, and you stuck with it too, because a lot of people give up. They want that magic bullet. And the reality is, for a lot of people, it does take time, because you're changing your brain, and it's like building a habit. If you were to play guitar or learn a language, you can't just learn it right at once. And some people it clicks. Some people have, maybe their symptoms aren't as long lasting, or they're not as severe, and so they can get over it faster. But what you're talking about is very common. So I want the viewers to understand that you didn't give up on the process, right? You kept with it.
That's right. Yeah. But there were a few times where I thought, oh, this isn't working. But I decided, no, I'm just going to stick with it. And I was really glad I did, for sure. Yeah.
And how's your confidence level now? Like when you start this work, a lot of people have a lot of doubts. How's your confidence level now in terms of, okay, I feel confident that my body's strong and this is TMS? And
yeah, I feel really good. I feel like there's nothing wrong with me. I just feel, I feel really, really good. I think there's a feeling of safety. I think you have to really have too, that you're feeling safe, you're feeling fine. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Awesome.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Well, it's a journey, like you said, it's a journey that never ends. Is there anything else you want to add to the people out there who are working with this process or struggling or trying to get relief?
Yeah, just for me, it was to stop really focusing on the pain all the time, like every moment of the day, and really focusing on other things in my life. Just having an attitude that I'm going to be better and moving on. That I think that really helped me a lot. Staying calm, trying to feel calm.
Yeah. Yeah. Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Gayle. That's cool. Thanks for sharing your story, because it helps a lot of people to hear other people who are working the process and have come out the other end. Gives them motivation and gives them the, little oomph maybe to keep going to get to the finish line.
I hope so, because other people's stories certainly have helped me. So I hope that it helps.
Awesome. Well, it was great connecting with you. Good talking to you. And thanks again for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.